We are blessed. 10 o'clock in the morning, August 8th, 2009, historical celebration here in the beautiful village of Champlain. 2 days of sunshine in a row. Yesterday, according to the calendar, we were at the Lake Champlain Bluegrass Festival, and now we're in Champlain for what they're calling Champlain Community Day at the River Park, the original River Street going right down by us here. Historical buildings abound. If you are not from this area, you should visit. These small towns have so much history embedded in every step you take. Across the road, the wonderful History Center, Celine Paquette's Champlain History Center, was originally a bank. The KFC right next to it to the right. Across the road, over Calvin's right-hand shoulder, the original Pliny Moore home, and the gazebo that you've heard us talk so much about underneath a weeping willow tree. We hope for a great number of people here today because there is so much planned. This is all part of the Quadra Centennial activities up and down the Hudson River, the Champlain Valley, all the way from here to New York City during 2009, celebrating the coexistence of a couple of guys who actually almost got to each other, Mr. Fulton and Mr. de Champlain, just a few, or Mr. Hudson, I mean, not Mr. Fulton. He was later with the steamboat. Mr. Hudson and Mr. Samuel de Champlain got within a few miles of each other, but as far as we know, they never actually met back in 1609. You've heard us mention Celine Paquette many times because she is the vice chairperson of the Hudson-Fulton Champlain QuadraCentennial Commission. Very busy activities. As you know, this whole thing was first organized by then Governor George Pataki, who left office. It was they had growing pains along the way. Celine Paquette has been on board for at least 6 years that I know of, with no salary and no expense account, taking on this wonderful North Country history. I won't say single-handedly, with a lot of help, but it is a tremendous chore. This is her building behind us. This history museum is not very far away from us. We spent some time there a long time ago when she was getting organized. Look at the outside of that building and how beautiful it is now. I can't wait to go inside. A number of activities are planned throughout this day on August 8th, 2009 for the benefit of Champlain residents, Northern Tier residents, and I hope many from all over, because the media has been quite good about promoting these QuadraCentennial activities this year. We're doing this right after 10 o'clock in the morning, so the crowd is sparse, but Calvin promises me that by 11 o'clock this will be teeming. Well, there'll be quite a few kids and adults here, we hope, because Calvin's on the committee. We'll talk with Calvin a lot about how much planning goes into an event like this. There'll be music by our friends Bear Tracks, whose name we mentioned when we were doing the Lake Champlain Bluegrass Festival recently. There'll be French-Canadian folk music, old-time storytelling, antique car rides. We saw a good friend, Dr. John Southwick, head through here just a few minutes ago in one of his great old cars. There'll be kayak and canoe races, a coloring contest, lots of activities for the kids, including a petting zoo. We already see 3 antique tractors across the road. There'll be face painting. I'm not sure that would be an improvement with me. There'll be genealogical activities. I hope if you have a computer that you will check the website of the Northern New York American Canadian Genealogical Society, a place in Keysville that Calvin and I particularly like, which has been so active for a long time helping people trace their family history, but especially when we find out that some of our ancestors might have walked right around the same areas that Samuel de Champlain walked 400 years ago. So check that out. There are a lot of wonderful photographs. There'll be a jumping cage. The Clinton County Sheriff's Department will be here today to create those popular IDs for the kids. We ran into artist Joe Grimshaw as we were walking up to this location to begin our program today, and Joe is a very special guy. He's a wonderful North Country artist, and he was commissioned to draw the design of Champlain himself for this stamp cancellation today. Champlain with his astrolabe, and it's been touted as the forerunner for the modern GPS system. So you get an idea of the things we plan today. We're going to talk to people, we're going to have a good time, and I hope you enjoy this program on our little corner. The committee here in Champlain has done its best to take care of the large matters and the trivial matters for this family day as part of the Quadra Centennial celebrations in 2009. And what you may or may not be aware of, depending on how big a fan you are of hometown cable in our little corner, there were celebrations along the way. Maybe not for the first 100 years, but the tercentennial there was, and 50 years ago there was a great celebration here too. And thanks to our late friend Bob Venn, who collected everything, and Calvin Castine, who got a hold of this poster, a copy of which is in the window here at the KFC Hall, we're able to relive a little bit of that history. Look at that. 50 years ago, block dance. And by the way, the dates line up. I thought that was so cool when I saw that. Block dance on Church Street, Friday, August 7th at 8:30. The Champlain Festival in big black letters. And the scheduled events for Saturday, August 8th. I love it. Rededication of the Champlain Monument at 10:30 in the morning on the St. Mary's Church grounds. And Calvin, they had an ecumenical mass, didn't they? All in French a short time ago.
A week ago we did it on Sunday the 2nd, and rededicated the statue and did a little ceremony up at Louis LaFontaine's gravesite. He was on the state committee at that time and worked hard. He was also on the committee that got the Crown Point statue and a lot of others. So he was a Frenchman who was very big into, perpetuating Champlain's name.
We want people to know that a lot of the activity started right here in Champlain, and that's sometimes forgotten. You'll notice on the poster the new post office dedication occurred at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. The U.S. Post Office was here. We've already been at a few cancellations, and we've got a very special one coming up today. And of course, what would a celebration be without a parade at 2:15 from St. Mary's Academy to the Champlain High School? Then the unveiling of the Yehudi Ashman Memorial at 3 o'clock on the Champlain High School grounds by the U.S. State Department and the Republic of Liberia. We've talked about that with Celine before. Historical exhibit 4 to 6, Air Force show at the high school auditorium at the athletic field. The festival banquet at 6:15 in the American Legion Hall, $2. Tickets were $2. Obtained from Mrs. Ferdinand Maxon's, St. Maxon's, and Lawrence Paquette and Legion members. And then the semi-formal ball from 9 to 1 at St. Mary's Auditorium, $4 a couple. From the Pearls Department Store, wow, Kaufman's Department Store, and the Cupboard. And it says at the very bottom, I can read it, tickets for the banquet and for the ball should be obtained as well in advance as possible, as the number is restricted to the limited capacity of the auditoriums. We have no idea what that might have been. But anyway, this is what's happening now, and Calvin is now looking at the town of Champlain celebrations for the year 2009. Sunday, August 2nd, and Saturday, August 8th, the same dates as occurred 50 years ago. I love that Quadra Centennial logo, and of course we love the Champlain Monument, one of several, but this was the first, right, Calvin?
First one in the United States, yes. And we got to point out that back in '59 we had the Andrews sisters here.
Oh yes, you reminded me of that before and I had forgotten. Yes.
Because it really stands out in my mind because I'd never heard of them, but as a 12-year-old I wasn't too familiar with them, but I've certainly heard of them since then. And I was telling one of my sons last night, the Andrews sisters were here, so just to let him know who it was, I said the Boogie Woogie Bugle Boy of Company B. So who hasn't heard that song?
And that would do it, and they were so great, and it was wonderful. I've seen some of those photographs. Fortunately, it was only 50 years ago, and Calvin was 12 and I was 22, so but I wasn't here yet. I didn't move here. I worked on the air base in the early 50s and then came back in 1961. We got a stamp cancellation going on, and we're going to take a look at that, Calvin.
Yeah. Brenda Munnick is extremely busy right now. She's our local postmaster. And of course, we ran into her a few years back when we had that special 2-state and 2 countries stamp cancellation. Who's this guy making all that noise?
Yeah, John, that wasn't his lips making that noise either, I can promise you that. Vacation Paradise, Messina, New York. Look at that. The Seaway, see that?
Yeah.
The Seaway is also celebrating its 50th anniversary this year. So that's kind of a neat place. And the emergency first aid, he might need it before he's through there today. I love the old cars. 1928 license plate on it. Joe is a heck of an artist, isn't he, Calvin?
Yeah, let's go down and see if we can get him to chat with us.
Let's do that. Oh, the crowd is gathered for autographs. It must be nice to be famous, Joe Grimshaw.
Well, locally famous, I guess. Yeah.
You've done a wonderful job as they commissioned you to make this picture. Now look at this. Tell me what went into this.
Well, actually, Mrs. Brenda Munnick, the postmaster in Champlain, commissioned me.
Very busy lady at this moment.
Yes, she is. She commissioned me to do this about a month or so ago. And she said we needed something for the Quadra Centennial. And she said, can you come up with something that will, kind of capture everything that the Quadra Centennial encapsulates? So I said, sure, I can come up with something. So I came up with this design, and she seemed to like it. And now we have a postmark that commemorates the Champlain QuadraCentennial, the Community Day Station. And it's going to
covers half the envelope. That's
that's the size she gave me. She told me.
That's perfect.
Yeah. So what she did was she just told me what they needed and gave me the information, and I went to work, me and my computer, and we hashed something out. Now, most of the artwork I do by hand, but then I put it in through the computer and use a variety of programs.
That's wonderful. You're not a neophyte when it comes to this stamp cancellation stuff. You've done this before.
No, that's right. About 2006, we did a cancellation that commemorated the monument in Champlain. And the monument was in front of St. Mary's Church, for anybody who's not familiar with it. And it's been there, I believe, since the early 1900s. I'm not sure exactly. 1907? Then that's what it was for.
See, there you go.
That's what it was for. So I did that, and that's how Brenda knew to contact me for this, because that went over pretty well. And here we are again, a couple years later, and another cancellation. So
isn't it nice to see things like this happening in your hometown?
Oh, it's wonderful. Champlain is not the largest town in the world, but it has the name Champlain, which people, Samuel de Champlain is known as a famous explorer. So, it's kind of nice that a little town like ours can, have such notoriety, at least on this day anyway.
A lot of big hearts in this town and all the small towns across the northern tier and the rest of Clinton County as well. That's why we like it here.
Yeah.
But the Quadra-Centennial makes it very special when you're talking about 400 years since the Frenchmen came down here.
That's exactly right, Gordy. And it's like, you can't believe that all this attention is being drawn to our little town for the day, but it's just such a wonderful thing that, we can celebrate this, and be a part of it.
Thank goodness that because of the advent of the internet in recent years, people around the world can be not only aware of what's happening here by reading about it in advance, but in seeing this program on a couple of different websites. So
yeah, you're
making a big time, Joe, whether you like it or not.
That was something I couldn't have foreseen even 10 years ago. That the internet just makes everything so up front and close and personal. People from halfway around the world can see something that happens in a little town like ours.
Has the Grimshaw family been here in Champlain for a long time?
Yeah, our roots go back probably to the I would say the mid to late 1800s.
No kidding.
Yeah, we go back pretty far this area, not necessarily in Clinton County, but Clinton, Franklin, Essex County. I believe there was some down there as well. Yeah, we've been here quite a while, and we plan to stay as long as we're welcome.
Well, we hope you're around for a long time. You're a very, very talented guy. We thank you so much for stopping by today.
Well, thank you, Gordy. It was a pleasure.
Keep that autograph wrist limber for the rest of the day.
I'll try. I'll try to be available to everybody who wants one.
See you later, Joe.
Okay,
Thanks.
thank you.
Junior says, I like my coffee. I like my coffee, too.
I like my coffee, yeah.
I was telling somebody the other day that for 36 years on the radio, I drank 30 cups of coffee a day. Can you believe that?
God.
That's more than all of the Bear tracks combined.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Way more.
How are you?
I'm well, and how about you, Gordy?
Mr. Van Julie.
Great.
Mr. Barber.
How you doing, Gordy?
What's going on with you today? We're so delighted to have you here in Champlain.
We're really happy that they called us to be here. It's a beautiful day. We love the area, of course. We're from the area, and I've worked up in this area for so many years, and Julie worked in this area for a lot of years, so we know a lot of people up.
I didn't know you worked up here. Doing what?
Yeah, I worked at Northeastern Clinton for 15 years
Come on.
as a school counselor. Yeah. Jeezum Crow, you didn't know that?
I'm glad she did the Jeezum Crow.
Oh, yeah.
I wore my good hat today, my Jeezum Crow hat. How long has Bear Tracks been together? I know you've been playing since you were 7, and that's at least 72 years ago.
It's quite a while. This group's been together since February of 2004. We started just as sort of a hobby thing, and it sort of grew into more than we expected, but it's been very enjoyable.
So far.
You are indeed a legend in your own time. Were you all interested in music as little tiny kids?
Oh yeah, I started playing in 1966, Gordy. I was out in bar rooms, and Julie was 5. We had her on a chair singing with us, and I taught her how to play bass when she was about 11, and she's been playing ever since, which is 10 years ago.
Well, maybe 20.
Yeah, maybe 20 years ago, yeah.
Reminds me of the old Johnny Cash song, about the bass and the tenor and the whole thing.
Oh, yeah.
Are you guys traveling these days, or you're mostly playing around here now? Or
No,
what?
we've been out to Toronto this year, down into Allentown, Pennsylvania, at a place called Wind Gap, down to the Vermont Folk Festival last weekend. Jenny Brook, we've got a little bit more traveling to do this year until the summer quiets down.
What kind of music would you say you guys play as a...
Well, we sort of play roots music, roots country music from the 50s, and some bluegrass music. Sort of Americana, I guess, believe the right term for it.
I love it, and you love every minute of it.
I do love every minute, and these guys are fun. We have a blast together.
It's fun just knowing you folks.
Oh, it is fun to be
It's
together.
great to talk to you. Good
Thanks.
luck. Play
Thank
good
you.
today. We'll follow you till
Okay.
the day you die. At least
All
another
right.
60, 70
Hope
years.
so.
Well, that's what we're hoping. Thanks, Gordy.
See you later, kids.
Thanks, Calvin.
That's
Thanks,
Bear
Calvin.
Tracks in Champlain.
This is Bruce West. He's
You know what? You guys have to advertise this here.
Okay.
You have to advertise. You got to do more.
Welcome.
Okay.
Welcome. People want to make their way down this way. We're going to start the ceremonies today. We're looking for Samuel D. Champlain. He's supposed to be here, but he must still be navigating by his astrolabe. It's probably 400 years old, so hopefully he shows up, because he was supposed to be here and open the ceremonies for everyone. This time, I'd like to introduce Mr. Bernard Ouimet, and he's going to sing the Canadian National Anthem.
Ô Canada, terre de nos aïeux, ton front essaie de fleurons glorieux, quand ton bras s'est porté l'épée, il s'est porté la croix, ton histoire est une épopée des plus brillants exploits, et ta valeur de foi trempée protégera nos foyers et nos droits, protégera nos foyers et nos droits.
At this time, I'd like to introduce Mr. Jim Sorrell. He's going to sing the U.S. National Anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight for the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bomb bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. And oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave, and for the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Now I'd like to introduce Celine Paquette, who is a Vice President of the Hudson Fulton Champlain Commission.
Thank you, Bruce. I'd like everyone to give a big hand to the Quad Committee who organized this wonderful day under the direction of Mr. Bruce West. Please join me in applauding. They are such a powerful committee that they even ordered the weather. I have to tell you that most of our events in the Champlain Valley, we've been so fortunate to have this kind of weather, except maybe last Sunday with the rededication of our monument. So Champlain must be looking down upon us and saying, I approve of all this. On behalf of the Hudson Fulton Champlain QuadraCentennial Commission, I lovingly call it the Quad, I bring greetings to you from New York State on this beautiful, beautiful day. This is Champlain's third major activity. This community has done more than any other community that I'm working with in Clinton County, Essex County, and Washington County. So I'm very, very proud of my community. It's a great feeling to be in your community. As Assemblywoman Janet Dupre said yesterday in Peru, she was pleased to be in her community. Well, I'm very pleased to be here in mine after traveling through all the others. So have a great day, and thank you for being here.
Okay, I'd now like to have Assemblywoman Janet Dupre come up and say a few words, and thank her very much for attending our festivities today.
Middle one.
Middle one.
Thank you. Hey, congratulations, Champlain. What a tremendous day, what a great event, and as Celine said, it's the continuation of so many great events you've had. I've been disappointed I couldn't get up sooner. I have had the privilege of attending several of the Quad events. The one constant through every one of them is that Celine Paquette is always there, wherever they may be, and I think that's a testament to this community. You know, I said to somebody earlier as we were visiting, I think one of the best parts about the Quad is that we're reminding our younger generations of the tremendous history we have here, and they're able to see it and feel it and touch it because we're taking the celebrations into their communities, and they're all being a part of it, including the mural at the Government Center and so many events that are taking place. I've said it and I continue to say it, and it can't be said enough. We would not be having the QuadraCentennial events in the North Country if it were not for the dedication, the vision, and the commitment of Celine Paquette. And I congratulate, as she did, Bruce West and everybody, but you have to congratulate Celine Paquette. When the Hudson Valley started sucking up all the money and all the activities, Celine put her foot down and said, it's not happening. There's a reason it's called Champlain and Lake Champlain, and it's coming north. And thank you for having the tenacity to do that and get it done. I'm absolutely pleased and honored to be here. It's a great day. It's a great event. Enjoy the day. The activities sound fantastic. I'm going to stay as long as I can. As you can imagine, I have a couple of other things on the calendar today, but nothing more important than being here. And again, congratulations to your town Quad Committee and to the entire community for all that you have done. Enjoy.
At this time, I'd like to have Reverend Steve Lone from the Three Steeples Methodist Church come forward.
Will you pray with me? Gracious and loving God, we have gathered here in the banks of this river to honor those who stood here so long ago. Bless this ceremony, we pray. There are descendants of those people here today, Lord, whose names are the same as those who settled this area 400 years ago. Families who have, through the centuries, struggled, fought, and sacrificed to make this area a home, the home we enjoy today. We dedicate this day to their memory. Help us, Lord, to remember these ancestors, to remember how hard they worked to settle here, to remember the hardships they endured, the struggles they endured, all to have a place called home. Help us also, we pray, to honor them by carrying on their traditions and work ethics and values that bring us here today. Traditions, ethics, and values that have gifted us with the good life we live here where they first explored and settled. May their courage and their foresight live in us today. History moves on, Lord God, but you remain steadfast. Just as those before us look to you to guide and protect them, so too do we look to you today for guidance and protection. In honor of those who went before us, in determination to continue the traditions and values that have gone before us in these last 400 years, and in hope that those who come after us will continue to follow those traditions and values, we dedicate this day in their name. We thank you, Lord, for the many ways in which you have blessed this area through the centuries. And we pray that you will continue to shower your blessings on all of us, now and in the future, that the name of Champlain will always stand for the best in life. This we pray in the name of Jesus. Amen.
Okay, some of the festivities that, well, I think we have a sighting. I think Samuel D. is 400 years late, but I think he may be coming down the river here. He's, let's go, Samuel's going to finally land here in Champlain 400 years late, but he's here.
How about this, Calvin?
I didn't know that Champlain ever came to Champlain. This is certainly
He had a little tiny detour.
a first-time experience here.
Looks like his canoe, though.
It certainly does.
It's a wonderful surprise for a lot of the people who were here. I'm sure they didn't expect this.
And you notice how smooth the river is, the Great Chazy River.
Isn't it wonderful? Perfectly smooth. I'm not sure what it looked like in 1609, but it's cool to have them here today as part of the
Well, I can tell you what it looked like in 1996. And a few other
yes,
times.
oh yes, oh yes.
This used to be River Street used to be a busy street here, Gordy, and right now there are 2 houses on it because everybody else has been bought out because of flooding. So the flooding of this little river right here, this quiet little river, has made this park possible and necessary because every few years people would get flooded out.
A wonderful area it is, and we had the same thing happen on our River Street in Morrisonville. And there have been a lot of other river streets that have been named for a very good reason. But during the flood season, in the springtime, these rivers can raise a lot. So this is terrific. What a fun day so far, Calvin.
Yep. Let's get back to Bruce.
Through the grounds, and he'll be here this afternoon to entertain us. Just want to tell you what else is going to be taking place here at 11 o'clock. We're going to have a tree planting, which is going to be to the left of me down to the end of the road. Up at the History Center, starting at approximately 11:15, going on this afternoon, is also a pictorial exhibit of Champlain. There's going to be a stamp cancellation up there featuring the Champlain holding his astrolabe, and it's drawn by a local artist, Joe Grimshaw. And also there's going to be genealogy up there with Julie Dowd, where Champlain residents can trace their family names. Also down here in the park, we have of course, the sign-in table. Make sure you sign in there because that's where you're going to get your ticket for the food. We're going to be giving hot dog, soda, chips.
And now a special little treat here. Some people are hearing this for the first time, and others who've watched Hometown Cable may already be familiar with this song, Gordy.
Oh boy, and I have for a long, long time, and I've enjoyed it. So absolutely.
I forgot something. I see all these balloons in front of me out here, and of course I got to be told what to do. We have 400 balloons out here, which are the quad colors, the blue, white, red, and yellow. These are to represent the 400 years that it's taken Samuel D. to finally come to Champlain. So we're going to have a countdown, and what we want you to do also on the balloons is a sticker that hopefully people will call back to the town and say how far they've gone. So we're going to start at 5 and count down, and everybody just release them and hope they all go in the air. So if we have all count down, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, let them go. They're going to Canada, so maybe we'll get some calls from there.
Well, some of them are going to stay here.
Some are going to stay here? Oh, well.
Some of them are going to stay here.
Yeah, hooked on the power lines.
Also down to the tree ceremony, if the Ashline family would please go down to the tree. They're going to be the honorary family down there, since they are the originals, one of the original settlers here in the town of Champlain. Charles Ashline is going to be throwing a shovel full of dirt, and also one of his granddaughters is going to be reading a poem, and we're going to have a few words down there. So everyone come down there, and then we'll come back here for the entertainment.
It's always a great sight to see balloons going in the air, isn't it, huh? As we started to say, we're going to hear a version of the Mills Brothers song recorded many, many years ago that some folks here today will not be familiar with, but we are. Since Calvin put his hands on it and we've recorded it several times, I love it. In old Champlain.
Every day at eventide, when the sun begins to rise, memories bring me to your side. We can dream at eventide, down a rustic little lane, walking in old Champlain, where you gave your heart to me, where you gave your heart so free, and the bells of St. Marie kept ringing and ringing, and their blessing to the lane, down Lover's Lane, old Champlain, let's return once again.
Nice to see such a good crowd here today. Oh, all the balloons let go off the lines. That's a good thing. Got a petting zoo for the kids, face painting, even an ice cream truck. Oh, would a festivity like this be like without Mr. Ding-a-ling?
I will put that song on again at the end of this video, Gordy, so that people will be able to hear it.
I've become a real huge fan of it. Isn't it wonderful?
Was it?
No kidding.
The ones that got relocated because of the flood?
No kidding.
Oh yeah, I moved away from there in 1954.
What's your name?
Maria Serpina. I used to be Maria LaFountain.
How are you? Good.
That's my husband, Jermaine.
Used to be LaFountain.
Yeah, my maiden name was LaFountain.
Yeah, come on and walk with me because we got to go up here for the tree. No kidding. And you got flooded out a few times?
Well, we didn't get flooded out. We just had water up to the steps, but it wasn't a cellar.
That's a little scary. I've had lots of water in my cellar in Morrisonville, too.
And then when we got married, we built a little house right next to
No, come on. Did you really?
We moved away from there in 1966.
Come on over here. When?
We moved out in 1966. I was 4 years old when I lived here.
No, come on.
4 years old until 1966.
Isn't that incredible? Well, most of the houses are gone, And if it hadn't been for that and the high water here, we wouldn't have this beautiful park, would we? That's terrific. We're delighted to have you here
And then
today.
remember old Bill Earl used to have a little house here? He used
Oh,
to make all
yes,
kinds
yes,
of-
yes,
Oh,
yes.
yeah, old Bill Earl. We used to go swimming down here. There was a ramp and we'd go.
Was there really? An old swimming hole?
I didn't go too often because I was scared of frogs.
Oh, ha 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 ha. You can't be scared of frogs.
Snakes.
Oh, okay. Well, we're here for the tree planting, and what a nice tree it is, too.
It's a maple.
It's got to be a maple. Look at the nice, the nice block of granite. And Samuel stopped here just in time for the tree planting.
Just waiting for some pictures.
It's a well.
We're waiting for Sammy to get done.
Kodak moments down on the riverbank there, Calvin.
Yeah, and also here, most of these folks right here that we're looking at on the other side of the tree, Gordy, are descendants of Prisk Ashline, first, not most of them, not all of them, but are descendants of Prisk Ashline, who was settled here in 1782, 1783 area, long before Pliny Moore got here.
Isn't that amazing? And it's something that's very significant. So I'm delighted that that family was chosen as the first settlers here. First European type settlers.
We're going to do the best we can. On behalf, my name is Chris Champlain, on behalf of the Champlain, town of Champlain Quadra Centennial Committee, I think everybody's done a great job today. And again, thank you, Bruce, for organizing this day. He was the leader today. We worked for him today. So, thanks a lot. Samuel Champlain's coming up, but today we're going to honor, this moment we're going to honor the Ashline family. Generations of the Ashline family have lived continuously here within the boundaries of the town of Champlain for over 225 years. I've learned more about the Ashline family in the last 25 hours, and my experience only goes so far, but great family. The English form of the French name Asselin. This is found in medieval England from the Anglo-Norman French personnel named Asselin. Is that correct? Asselin? In the 19th century, Vermont, this process took place over and over again with the conversion of the French-Canadian Asselin to Ashline. Okay? Ashline. You want to read this? You can read this. I got some of this information. Calvin Gasline helped us. We got some information from the Woody McKellen days. The Ashline family is probably the very first family to have settled in our community. I have records which show that Prisk Ashline, is that correct? Prisk was located in 1782 or 1783 near the Corbrew River. Documents presented to the U.S. government in January 1785 by the Colonel James Livingston list Prisk Ashline as being entitled to land under the Canadian and Nova Scotia grant for his support of the American cause during the American Revolution. A sworn statement by Major Clement Gosselin and the officers of the regiments raised in Canada for the service of the American forces during the Revolution, dated August 13th, 1787, certifies that Prisk Ashline was, with 4 members of his family, were at that time residing in this Lake Champlain area. Basically, we're here to honor the Ashline family with a tree planting and a beautiful stone that's going to be permanently affixed here. Charles Ashline, Mr. Ashline, is the oldest member of the Ashline family in Champlain. We'll throw the first shovel of dirt, and if you could do that now, we would really be honored to have you do that, sir.
You up.
That's good.
Fill it up, Charles. I love it. Good job.
Thank you, Mr. Ashline, Charles. The granddaughter of Charles will read a poem by Joyce Kilmer named Trees. Go for it.
I think that I shall never see a poem lovely as a tree whose hungry mouth is pressed against the sweet earth's flowering breast, a tree that looks at God all day and lifts her leafy arms to pray, a tree that may in summer wear a nest of robins in her hair, upon whose bosom snow has lain, who intimately lives with rain. Poems are made by fools like me, but only God can make a tree.
Nice job. We're going to have a closing prayer by Father Ed Lacombe.
And a blessing.
And a blessing.
Yes, and
Great St. John's Church, Episcopal Church in Champlain.
yeah, I just mentioned two things. First off, my early ancestor Lacombe arrived with the French garrisons around 1660. So I guess he's a relative newcomer in the whole of this, but which is fine. But the other thing, which is kind of, it's auspicious that we're having this blessing of this tree and planting that here today. 2 weeks ago, it'd be 2 weeks tomorrow, the 60-foot ash by the rectory got hit by lightning and literally blew up. So it seems nice to plant a new tree, and we're hopeful that God will be a little more protective of that than he was our ash tree next to the rectory. So, but all things. It's a great tradition to be able to bless a tree. And in fact, for those who are of the Jewish faith, there's really no higher honor than to buy a tree that's planted in Israel, and they have a special prayer blessing that they do for that every time that they do that. So they actually populate the area of Israel with trees which are purchased in the memory of people. And so it's a great tradition to do that. And here in the United States, back in the time in which they used to really very seriously celebrate Arbor Day and all that, planting of trees was a very big deal. And for a lot of our more senior citizens, they will remember as kids the importance of Arbor Day and planting a tree. It was expected that you would do that as a sign of the continuation from generation to generation of God's blessing upon the earth. There's another long missing thing called Rogation Days, the blessing of the crops and all of that, which we don't seem to do that much anymore these days, which is kind of a tragedy. But in a very good way, we come here today to celebrate the 400th anniversary of this place, and also the family of the Ashline family, which are descendants of the earliest settlers here. And so this tree stands as not just as a sign of what they've done, but the whole of the community and how it's developed. So as we bless this tree, let us be mindful that God's blessing is called down upon all of the Champlain area. And may God bless all the families who have chosen this place to inhabit and to raise their families. So let us pray. Creator of life and sustainer of seed and soil, of tree and flower, you have created this world and all that lives in it. We come to you in this prayer of dedication and blessing, for you are the giver of life, the sustainer of all that lives. Lord and holy creator of trees and forests, come and place your blessing of life upon this, the Champlain Quadra-Centennial tree, and let us remember this day also the Ashline family and all who represent it. In the Garden of Eden you planted both the tree of knowledge and the tree of life. May this memorial tree be a tree of life to all the earth, and may its leaves breathe forth the life breath of oxygen. May its branches be living spaces for those who climb among, and for the birds of the air that shall nest here. And may it give to all who look upon it the gift of life-renewing beauty. As blessings, peace, and life are the first fruits of the tree, and the cross of your Son, Jesus, may the same fruits flow from this memorial tree, which we plant in you, O God. Amen. And the blessing of this tree, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Amen. Thank you.
Okay, if we could have Samuel D. Champlain come up and throw a shovel full of dirt. Well, then anybody named Ashline's going to have to help us finish the job. Come on, Sam.
Sam, can you move right out in the sun when you do it?
Okay.
That'll help. Look right over here, Sammy.
Another one?
Charlie did too.
And that's why he's got his Indians.
Charles,
Good job, good job.
finish the job. Thank you.
Come on, Joe. Show us how it's done. Dad taught you well, you know that.
Oh, here we go. We got the machine working now.
Jessica's father and Charlie's son here. Joe.
That's great. What a wonderful, nice little ceremony here today. What a good thing to do, because you know that tree will be around for a long, long time with any luck at all. How about that? Good job.
Oh, yeah.
You gotta come down water.
I think Charlie hurt his back.
Oh no, don't say that.
Yeah, right.
Oh, there's got to be a few pictures taken, of course. Jack is well known to so many people, having worked in the television media for so many years around here, and now as the official photographer for this Quadra Centennial Commission.
Like Loretta helping out.
Yeah. Isn't it great? Didn't even wear the paint off a shovel, though. I think they better get busy with it. What a great spot. And once again, for those people just tuning in, we're at the Champlain Family Days up here as part of the Quadra Centennial celebration in Champlain, New York on August 8th, 2009. It's 11:25 in the morning. Family activities for kids and adults and grandmas and grandpas taking place all day today till about 6 o'clock tonight, and it's just a great day so far. Well, we just walked a few paces down the road and we ran into Ralph Gilpin. How are you?
Just fine.
What a day.
Beautiful.
Is this a big deal for us up here?
Sure.
You're originally from Lion Mountain, right?
Lion Mountain, yes.
Now tell me what you've been doing for the last few years.
Well, I retired 4 years ago. My wife was sick and I retired and went home and took care of her.
But you were town clerk for a long time?
Yeah, 31 years.
Come on.
31 years, yeah.
How did that happen? How'd you get down here from Lion Mountain?
Oh, I don't know. I went away to college and I was working in Texas in the oil fields, and my father got sick. I had to come home. I stayed around where he was, and I was looking for a job nearby near Lion Mountain. I got a job in Rouse's Point, a hardware store. I was in business for 35 years.
No kidding.
Yeah.
That's great. So you're a fixture of the North Country, aren't you?
Been around quite a while, yeah.
Oh, yeah. But isn't it wonderful to come to a celebration like this? 'Cause we're talking 400-year celebration today, huh? That's great. Ralph, it's great to see you. Thanks for stopping by.
I'm glad to talk to you.
Stay well for the next 40 years.
Yeah, sure.
See you later. Well, we cornered the Ashlines before they got away. How are you, Charlie?
Good.
I forgot your first name.
Loretta.
Loretta, of course. How could I forget Loretta? We aren't going to say who wears the pants in this family, though, right?
Well,
you know,
we're both dynamite today.
You know, a beautiful sunshiny day and a great tribute to your family that goes back to the very earliest settlers here. And to plant a tree, as I said when we walked away, this family, generations to come, will have a picnic under that tree saying, "Oh yeah, I saw that where Charlie threw the first shovel there. He looked like he could do it." Did you tell me you dug 200 graves in this community?
Yep.
Isn't that amazing?
All by wood.
Huh?
Glenwood Cemetery.
Oh, yeah,
All by hand.
Yeah. Of course, all by hand. They do it a little differently most of the time these days, huh? Yeah. Isn't it a big deal to plant a tree like that, nice maple tree like that?
Oh yeah, that's a beautiful tree. Yeah. Oh yeah, it means a lot because it'll be there for years.
Now that was your granddaughter that read the poem?
Jessica.
Isn't she a sweetie?
Yeah, she sure is.
How old is she?
16.
That's a poem that we've heard so many times since we were little kids. I'm not sure that we didn't memorize that Joyce Kilmer's Trees in 3rd grade, but it's a great poem and was perfect for today. We're so glad you were chosen. This is a nice community, isn't it?
Oh yes.
I mean, there's a lot of good places to live in the world, but I always feel almost like I'm home when I drive through Champlain. Good people, huh?
Oh yes, there's a lot there.
80% of them are ash lines too.
Oh yeah.
How many ash lines live within 10 miles of where we're standing?
Oh my, I couldn't tell you. A lot of them.
A lot of them?
Yes.
How many kids did you guys have?
I had 3. I had a daughter, she lives in Whitehall. One son lives in Champlain, the other one lives in Ross Point.
We got the whole North Country covered, don't we?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
You guys did a wonderful job, and thanks so much. Have a wonderful day.
Yeah, thank you.
See you later, Charlie, Loretta.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Boy, I'm smelling hot dogs in here. George Rivers, how are you?
Sick of that in a wheelchair.
Yeah, sure you are. Are we having fun yet?
Yes, we are.
Mr. Moore, how are you?
Fine. Isn't it a beautiful day?
I think the 2 mayors ought to sing a song, don't you?
Yeah, well, don't hold your breath, my boy.
Maybe we better let Bear Tracks do it.
George, but you want to see these people leave?
Isn't this exciting, a day like this?
Of course. Yes, it is.
For families, for people, for everybody.
It's beautiful. It looks like a lot of people have turned out, and it's a perfect day. We couldn't have asked for any better day.
We never know we're going to get another one, so
summer,
we
yeah.
better enjoy it. You know what I like? I like what's happened to this River Street area with this park.
Oh yeah, well, as soon as we get the brush out and you can see the river, it draws people down here.
It's a nice looking river today.
Yes,
as Calvin points out, it isn't always that way in the spring, like 1996, right?
Oh yeah, well, every so often, that's why there's no houses down here anymore. But oh yeah, I've seen it, this deep in ice flows.
We never, ever hope to see any of that again.
No, we don't.
I live about 3 feet from the Saranac River in Morrisonville, and I've seen the same kind of stuff you have up here. It's good to have a good crowd, old Bear Tracks in the background.
Oh, I know, the music's great.
Planting trees at Celine's nice museum across the street.
She did a lot of work there. That's I don't know if you've been in there, but it's beautiful.
We were in there and did a TV show with her a long time ago, but we haven't been in there today, but we will.
Oh, I'm going over there because she's added a lot of things since the last time I was in there. They've done some really nice work restoring.
Great books, a lot of wonderful memorabilia about the Champlain area.
Oh yeah, she's done her homework on that.
What better place to celebrate the Quadra Centennial than Champlain itself, right?
Yes.
And when he came down in the canoe and didn't tip over, and George didn't throw rocks at him.
I wasn't it. I paid them Indians big money to shoot holes in them. They didn't.
You guys are the best. Have fun. That corn on the cob looks pretty good, doesn't it?
Yes, it is.
That corn on the cob looks good. You guys have a great day, will you?
Should point out that this is being manned by various council members besides our 2 mayors, George Rivers and Jeff Moore. We've got, I see from Rouse's Point, John Burtz, from the town of Champlain, Craig Hicks from the village of Champlain, Greg Martin and Tom Trombley. I see the highway superintendent from Champlain, Alan Racine over there. So this is, I hope I've included everybody, but this is all volunteers from the various boards joining together, and nice to see that.
You know, that's what we talk about, small towns, Calvin, and a lot of volunteer effort, and I know you've spent countless hours on the committee getting ready for today. Calvin's been like a mother hen running around making sure things are working all right, and so far as I can tell, it's been just a fabulous day, underway for about an hour and a half already, and I think everybody who lives in Champlain is here, and
Not everybody, but
not everybody. Well, maybe they will before we're through today.
I hope so. I hope more people come down and enjoy this. The music sure is good.
Oh gosh, the Bear Tracks is the best.
Nourishment Well, time goes on as years go by, one thing remains the same. The sparkling waters and peaceful calm this place called Lake Champlain. Lake Champlain, sailors hanging on a cliff. Lake Champlain, the scenes I'd surely miss. Well, I'll never feel alone, Lake Champlain. This place I call my home, Lake Champlain. This place I call my home.
That was written by Junior Barber.
Another great Lake Champlain song, huh? That's terrific. Well, he's done everything else here this weekend, Bruce West. I expected you to come up with your own shovel and throw another shovelful on the tree there.
Well, we've done, it's been a beautiful day, and, you know, the whole committee has worked together, Tom Trombley and Chris Trombley and Celine and the Myers and Calvin's been involved in this, and I'm sure I'm forgetting somebody, but it's Richard Favreau. I knew I was going to forget somebody. Calvin's there, but I mean the whole committee has worked together on this to bring this to fulfillment, and my wife Jane too has been very instrumental in doing some things here. So, and the release of the balloons and things. So
that was fun when the balloons took off. I said, "Oh, they're going to hit the wires."
They went over. I didn't see them, but they all went.
Hit the wires and they all went. So
good. That's good.
Tell me how long this planning has been for you.
I've only been involved in it probably for about, I say 3 or 4 months. I went to a meeting to help out, and I came out being in charge of the August 8th event. So
that's how volunteers work, you know.
But it's, you know, you do a lot of stuff, but it's the last couple days when everything just comes together. And like one of the fellows was saying yesterday and today are the 2 best days, because you get to enjoy, you get to see some fulfillment in what you've done, and just working together, the camaraderie is good when you do this thing.
It looks like everything has been going very smoothly since we got here at 10 o'clock this morning.
It's great, you know. We got a great band, and then we're going to have Bernard Ouimet doing some French-Canadian music and in intermission when they take a break. So, yeah, hopefully everything works out.
That's quite a nice museum Celine's got over there in the old bank, huh?
Yeah, it's beautiful. Yeah, the pictorials going on over there, and the genealogy. Celine has put a lot of work and effort into that, and you know, the town, the village, the whole community has to be. It's going to be the benefit of her hard work in that, because that's her love of history. So I believe, you know, it's opening there right now, and I think she's going to have a, I don't want to speak out of turn here, but I think she's going to have a grand opening later on this fall, so when she gets things done.
Isn't that great?
It's going to be beautiful. It's
good to see
place.
We know there are events going on all over New York State, up and down our lake and the canal system and the Hudson River, but I still think Champlain's the best, Bruce, don't you?
I really do, and last weekend we had the French Mass, and there was an individual who has been to a lot of events this summer, and he was really moved by it. He says it was the best event he'd been to so far. So
get any better than that?
Can't do it better here in Champlain, that's for sure. And with you guys, we want to thank you for coming and doing this, Calvin, and you too, Gordy, and Judy's up at the other end, and you know, it's a community event. It's not just one person here. It's a community.
Everybody is having a good time, from the old codgers to the little babies.
That's right, and we got the petting zoo and the jumping castles over there and stuff, so I hope everything turns out well.
We know it is. Thanks to you, Bruce. Thanks so much, my friend. Have a great day.
Thank you, Calvin. Thanks.
She's got that kind of loving. Lord, love to hear when she calls me sweet daddy. Such a beautiful dream.
And he song with yodeling has got to be a good song.
I love it.
As an old Roy Rogers fan, I just love the yodeling.
I might stay around that tent all day today. They're so good.
I'm so used to you somehow. Well, I'm nobody's sugar daddy now, but I'm alone. So I got the lovesick blues. Well, I'm in love with a beautiful gal. Hey, what's the matter with me? I'm in love with a beautiful gal, and she don't care about me. Lord, I tried to keep her satisfied. That gal wouldn't stay. Now that she is leaving, this is all I can say. I got a feeling called the blues, oh Lord, since my baby said goodbye. Lord, I don't know what to do. All I do is sit and sigh. Oh Lord, had a last long day. She said goodbye. Well, Lord, I thought I would cry, and I'm alone on lonesome. I got the lovesick blues. Feeling called the blues, oh Lord, since my baby said goodbye. Lord, I don't know what to do. I lost my heart, it seems. I've grown so used to you somehow. Well, I'm nobody's sugar daddy now, and I'm alone. Some I got the lovesick blues. Well, I'm alone, son. I got the lovesick blues.
Oh boy, isn't that fabulous?
Thank you so much.
Doesn't get any better than that, Calvin.
You know,
Thank you.
As we're
Thank you for
taping
doing
this,
it.
Gordy, we've got
Hold on a minute.
the Lake Champlain Bluegrass
Okey
Festival
dokey.
going on right now over in Alberg, but I guarantee you there ain't any music going on any there better than the Veritrax is right now.
They're just a great group and just charming and wonderful people. We got our special hats now that we may have to wear for the rest of the day.
We're gonna play another tune or two for you, and then we got somebody else coming up. We got so much going on.
How about that,
It's hard to keep track of everything.
He didn't tip the canoe over either, and that's even more important.
No, I was very lucky. Very lucky. I had my good guides.
You haven't trimmed that mustache since the last time we saw you.
No, it's been quite enduring.
People were a little bit shocked and surprised when you came down the river today.
Excellent. Je veux dire bienvenue à toutes les familles de Champlain. C'est avec mon plaisir et mon cœur. J'aime Champlain.
Hey,
Merci.
That's pretty darn good. I like it. And he even got to throw a shovel full of dirt on that tree up there.
Absolutely. Yeah,
You're the man, you know.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Have a great day, my friend.
Thank you.
See you
Thank
later,
you very
Dick.
much.
Bye-bye. We are enjoying the Champlain Family Day here today with hundreds of people, friends of ours, and people that are brand new friends of ours and people we've never met before. Just having a great time. Lee Babby, how you doing?
Well, pretty good.
Who you got with you over here?
Well, this is my nephew, Rick Lauren.
How are you, Rick?
Nice to meet you.
Good to meet you. What'd you bring up here today for us?
Well, I just brought a couple tractors today. Couldn't move all my stuff down here, but
Takes a little while.
I was kind of determined to come back to Champlain. Of course, I was born and raised here.
Of course you were. You love to talk about it too.
Yeah, and so I was happy I could make it today.
Yeah, I see you just shooting the old baloney with a few people walking up through here.
Some I
It's like old
recognize,
days.
others I don't.
Well, you've been trying to get a museum going for how many years? How you doing on that?
It's been a dream right along, but now it's coming to reality. Rick, I was lucky to connect with Rick Lauren, who is my nephew, and he has the same passion as I do about museums, old stuff.
Same passion?
Oh yeah.
Two peas in a pod here, is that what you're saying?
And so we're moving ahead now on the museum end of it.
Isn't it?
It's a lot of work, but with my background as far as warehousing and stuff, it's kind of getting your inventory in order. And
This guy's got an inventory that doesn't stop. I don't even know where all this stuff is. Every time I see him, he's got something new he's got torn apart up there.
Yeah.
That combine is what I really liked. That's what year was that?
You mean
the one you had going at the
the show?
Yeah.
Oh, that was an old Thrasher.
Reaper. Thrasher, yeah, right,
Thrasher,
right.
and it was built in the 1880s probably.
Or maybe even before that. We looked at a couple of dates on it. Anyway.
It makes me feel good when they work.
So when can we expect this whole thing to be done? In our lifetimes, or?
I'm shooting that. Hopefully, we have a very good start in the spring of 2010. I'm hoping that we have an open house later this fall, just kind of a private showing type thing. But we hope. May next year that we'll be on track.
I've been invited to private showings before, you know. If I
Have you?
didn't, I snuck in anyway. Hey guys, it's great to talk to you.
Yeah.
Have a great day. Just keeping those old tractors going, will you, Lee?
Very good.
See
I
you
will.
later. Nice
Thank
to meet you, Rick.
Yeah.
Have a great day.
Yeah.
I think I'm hearing a little French-Canadian music in the background.
Yeah.
I heard something. Boy, what a nice crowd. Chris Trombley, how are you?
Not too bad. How are you doing?
I haven't seen you since the old train station days.
Up in Morris.
Have you been up there lately?
Oh yeah, we go up quite often.
Do you
Larry and
really?
I- oh yeah, when we're not doing stuff in Champlain, we still work on that.
Every time we do a show, I say, this is the best show we ever did. Because I love stuff, but that was one of the best I ever did. I've told so many people about that. Now that it's on the internet,
So many people
who are
love it
fans,
too.
Oh my
They
goodness.
love it. Larry's received a lot of calls and comments on it, and just people go up on a Sunday afternoon after they've seen the show, and it's really
well, it was a good show.
A lot of focus on the old train stations these days around. We're watching some
Yeah.
of them be rehabilitated.
Yeah.
Some of the old ones, sadly, are being torn down to make way for progress. Boy, River Street up here has sure changed in Champlain from 50 years ago, hasn't it?
Sure has, and I'd like to think over the last couple of weeks, especially, it's gotten better. We've, well, the Village of Champlain did, of course, a lot with the buyout a few years ago. You know, speaking on the fire department side, that's good for us because we don't pump basements here anymore. But it's turned out to.
And you did a little bit of that.
There used to be probably about 15 houses here. We used to pump every year, and every spring, every fall, or every time the river would flood. But River Street is this whole corner in the last couple of years, especially in the last couple of weeks, has changed a lot, and you know, for the good. I mean, you know, it's to build that close to the river is probably not a good thing, but this day has really surprised a lot of people.
Are you happy with the way things have turned out today so far?
I am very happy. I'm very excited. Of course,
you've been such a big part of it,
Yeah.
working so hard as you and many other people. But it's nice to see the weatherman cooperate and lots of people come by and everybody's having a blast.
Perfect day. A lot of good help. We got a good committee started off. Calvin can probably tell us about a year and a half ago we started talking about this, and we had, you know, for every idea that came forth, the Religious Day, Point of Fair, and today Community Day, we probably had about 20 others that we wanted to do, but just, you know how things work out after a while. Everybody works hard and they say, well, we can do this, we can't do this. And we had a pretty small committee. We only had about 10 people on the committee, but everybody's worked very hard.
I have to tell you, that Point of Fair thing was another one of the best shows we ever did. I was so pleased to be there.
Point of Fair.
Because it's history.
It is. And we're creating it, and you guys are recording it, and so much history here today. You know, everything from the old tractors to the stamp cancellation. I mean,
not to mention 25 or 30 ash lines up there.
25 or 30 ash lines.
It was wonderful.
Calvin helped me out with that one. That was tough. It was tough, but it wasn't. Calvin wrote a book, of course, a few years ago, Champlain 2000, and that helped out a lot. And if it wasn't for him sending me a couple emails, you know, a lot of us share that love of history and love of the town and the villages and all that kind of good thing, and it turned out well. It turned out well.
It's a great community, a lot of wonderful people, Chris, and I want to personally thank you for all your hard work. You've given
Thank you.
The last, I don't know how many years of your young life back to this community, and it shows. That's a good thing.
Well, thank you. I learned from the best and learned from others, and started with my ancestors, and I just need to learn how to say no.
No, don't ever stop being who you are, Chris. Thanks again.
Thanks, Gordy.
See you later.
See you later.
Bye-bye. I hear a little French music in the background. Hannah and Koviak, how are you, my dear?
Very good, but I'm not French.
You're not, huh?
No.
No, I'm Koviak. I don't know what that is. What's your maiden name?
Archibald, which is Scottish.
Archibald is Scottish. That's almost as Scottish as Little.
Yes.
So is he doing all the selling, or are you counting the money, or what?
He's an organizer, and he likes to do all the organizing, so I don't touch the boxes or I get yelled at. Yeah, but we're going to be registered as the only Polish family in town in 2009.
Oh, are you really?
Yes,
Does that count for something, Calvin?
Does it count for being Polish in 2009?
I think it does.
Downtown Champlain?
I think it's wonderful.
But I'm representing the Filles du Roi, which is the women who were sent over by the king.
That's pretty good
to
French,
marry.
eh?
Oh, I am. Je suis né à Montréal.
I love it.
So the women were sent over to marry the officers that were representing the French flag and fighting over here, and that because of the fact that there were no women over here for them to marry, he wanted to keep them happy, I guess. And I haven't left yet. I look pretty good for 400.
I think so, yeah. 400 and counting, right?
Counting, yes.
So how's the shirt business going today?
It's been excellent. This is all the inventory we have left, and they said they bought a lot of shirts, so it's been very popular.
Oh, they're really sharp.
Yeah, the memorabilia are the shirts and the astrolabe and the official medal. And we have a number of books on Champlain, one of which has been put together by Calvin Castile.
Yeah, I know what they look like. I didn't realize you had some new ones left, Calvin. You got a few boxes?
And I'm telling everybody, go and find Calvin, get him to autograph it, because 50 years from now, it'll be very good autograph to have.
I think it's very good right now.
Yes.
And I know the copy he used to carry around in his car was a little bit ragged the last time we showed it. Maybe we ought to give him a new one to carry.
Well, he found in Plattsburgh we had a coffee table book. It had coffee stains on it.
Oh, did it? Well,
yes.
That's what a coffee table book is supposed to have.
Yeah, but I think it got sold.
Yeah.
So
I keep saying it since we turned our camera on before 10 o'clock this morning. This is a perfect day.
And I hope they keep the tradition going. You know, make it a Founders Day event or something like that. I think we should come out and see each other at least once a year.
And if we can't do it once a year, at least every 400 years, right?
All we need is the volunteers to keep it going.
Well, you know what? We've congratulated and thanked many of the volunteers today. There are always people behind the scenes, husbands and the wives of those people on the committee who were so long suffering when their spouses went to committee meetings. It takes a lot of planning. You may not realize it, but you don't just throw this stuff up in the air and see where it hits the ground.
I think Chris Trombley's been going since probably the winter time, and along with Tom Trombley and Bruce West, I've just seen countless hours put in by those guys.
It's great, and Calvin too, and all the other folks. It's wonderful to be here today and to have the rest of the world celebrate with us, right?
That's right.
Maybe we'll get a chance to talk to Mike, but if he counts his money,
okay.
At least he's not putting it in his pocket.
Well,
anyway.
We're watching.
We'll keep an eye on it.
We have an inventory of money too. So.
I love it. See you later, kid.
Yeah, thank you. Nice talking to you.
You too.
I can't always hear when I'm recording this, Gordy, but I think when you were talking to Bruce West, he was trying to remember all the names. And I think the only ones he probably failed to mention were Steve Southwick. I think I heard him say Richard Favreau, and of course Amy Garrick from the village board here has also been active on the committee. And on our original committee several months ago, after the Point of Fair event, she concentrated on Rouse's Point events, but that was Jerry Favreau. So there has been quite a few people, and it's been a great effort, and a lot of people who are not committee members have put an awful lot of work into all this.
Well, it shows, Calvin, and I thank you and everybody else who had a large and small hand in this day's celebration. It's been tremendous so far. All right, let's start again. Addie Shields, I'm so delighted to be here with you today. Tell us how you chose the picture for your cover of your wonderful book.
Well, John Ray is my cousin, but this piece of sculpture is the first that he did in 1900 when he was just discovering he could do this sort of thing. But this is Josette La Bombarde. This is my great-grandmother, God bless you. I am a French lady, you know, and she had found a maple log, and her husband was dead, and she found a piece of wood, put two cuts in there, and she could cook wood, you know, sit right there and cook her dinner with that piece of wood and keep warm.
Isn't that amazing? What a beautiful sculpture. I've never seen it before. Is it in your home? Where is it?
No, it was in Chazy, and Bob Cheeseman. I had Bob take the picture of it, and see, it says right here that it was. Oh, I
think that's the first page. Yeah.
Well, does it say on the back? It's supposed to say courtesy. Here it is.
Oh yeah, sculpture. John, is it Laura? John Laura? Laura Ray.
Now I have, if I can just live, I have 13 years of his diary, in which you'd be surprised. You were out at the boathouse yesterday, and it's amazing what John Ray planted all the cedars all over Plattsburgh, those at the Valcour Center, you know, and at the library, and at the chapel. I spoke to Mrs. Mott about that. And at the chapel, you know, on the airbase, John Ray did the insignia of each of the churches and the chandeliers. He and Charlie Harrington and the commander and Bill Ledoux's father and so forth. But anyhow, this picks up the farmers. There's no preaching in it. It's just a challenge.
No preaching in it? What good is it?
Everything happened. No, but everybody can draw conclusions. You notice?
Yeah, it was, and it took a while to put it together too, didn't it?
Everybody was happy with a hunk of cheese. That was right. And the staples were that barrel of flour. And it stops in 1922 and 34, you know, along about then. But I'm amazed. Did you really read it?
Yes, I did.
Are you sure?
I love it because you're just such a special lady.
Well, not especially.
Did you ever think it would get finished?
Well, they've had it for about a year, and God bless them, they've been busy.
I know how that goes.
We've got to send in for another set. We've sold all of them at those two.
Have you really?
Yeah,
I think that's pretty good. We don't have to sell the book today, Calvin. Sold all those but two. Patty, it's good to see you again.
And
it's always great to see you feeling good.
Keep going.
Now that you're only 83.
I know. I'll be in the obituary column before you know it.
Not for a long time. Addie, have a wonderful day.
And you too. Isn't this wonderful? Isn't this Celine just AAA?
It's all terrific. It's
and
just a nice
this
day.
buyout, when they bought out these old houses, and you know, we're looking at the road. We ought to be looking at the water. You turn around there and see that lake?
Oh, yes, we have
That
talked
river?
about it.
I know, it's beautiful.
Isn't it great? What a great area, what a nice park.
Keep going. Where I can't go, you can. And
You got it, kid.
I watch and listen.
We'll put a motor on that thing and you'll beat us up the Northway.
No.
See you later, Addie.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much for what you do.
We're on the second floor of Celine Paquette's Champlain History Museum in the old bank. It's a wonderful edifice, if you will, and she's done just a terrific job. And it's a work in progress. You're looking at Julie Dowd, secretary of the Northern New York Canadian Genealogical Association that operates in their office in the old school in Keysville. Great displays of family histories right here. Calvin and his wife Judy tracing their roots back. You know, as so many people up here walked in the same place that Samuel Champlain walked during his lifetime and those of his people that he brought with him. So much wonderful history in this area, and a lot of it has to do with the families who are here now. Our friend Jack Leduc was in talking with Julie, and she traced his ancestors back several generations in Keysville and learned that they were very interesting people in his background as well. So this is part of what people are seeing during the Champlain Family Days here. And on this beautiful sunshiny day in August 2009, and if you haven't done it, maybe you'll be inspired by this or something else to trace your own roots back to see where you came from. We're downstairs meeting people for the first time. Is it Marilyn?
Marilyn.
Parsons. And?
Gertrude Trombley.
So pleased to have you here. We were just talking about 50 years ago when the Andrews sisters were here. Do you actually remember that?
I don't remember the day, but exactly the day, but I remember them coming.
They were here.
And
I don't remember
it was.
You know, the best part
I was
of it.
out on the farm. I didn't see much back then.
You know, I asked my wife, well, do you remember so and so? She said, we were on the farm. We didn't go to town. We didn't go to movies. We didn't go to dances. We brought the hay in. We brought the corn in. We did the.
That's what you did on a good day, like today. You were out in the fields.
But you know what? The dates 50 years ago were exactly the same dates as they are now. So on August 8th,
50 years ago today.
Really?
50 years ago today, there it is.
Isn't that something?
Isn't that amazing?
I guess so. Yeah.
There you go. So what do you remember from that time period involving that?
Well, 59, let's see.
That was a good year.
Let's see, I graduated in 49, so I was working. Whatever, you know, daily life, and I don't know what I.
Do you remember any of this celebration at all?
No. I don't remember the day. I remember them coming.
Yeah.
And
you didn't go to the big dance or the big banquet or the big.
She did. Gert was busy milking cows.
She was milking cows.
That's okay, Gert.
Yeah.
That's how you got to be 59 like you are today.
There you go.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, it was a good time in life. You know, the summers were great.
Had lots of nice warm sunshine.
Yeah.
Well, we're enjoying this
today.
today.
This today is beautiful.
I woke up
Aren't
and
we
it was
lucky, eh?
48 degrees when I woke up this morning, and I said, "Oh, this was such nice sleeping last night."
Was it Saranac Lake had like 37?
Oh, did they
They were in
really?
the 30s.
It was on the
I saw
news
that.
this morning.
Oh my God! I've got several kids who live up there. I may have.
Well,
to
they
ask.
were a little chilly then. Yeah.
But anyway, isn't it fun to be here 50 years later and have a beautiful day and all these great people?
I was thinking while I was sitting down there eating, 100 years from now, they'll have another celebration, and not one of those people will be off. People that were there today won't be there.
Hopefully
Be a whole new.
Hopefully they'll have this tape or DVD to run.
Yeah,
so
I
you
know. Right.
This is the way it was.
That's how it was. And look at how funny they dressed.
Especially Gordy. It's great to see both of you today.
Nice
Thank
to
you.
see you.
I see you on hometown cable a lot.
We love to do it.
Watch you guys all the time.
See you later. Thanks a lot, girl.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. We watched her when she started this morning, and Calvin and I had a side bet whether she'd make it till 6 o'clock tonight. I think you're going to make it, Brenda Munnick. How are you?
I'm doing fine, thank you.
Yeah, and you would fib even if you weren't.
Exactly.
How many have you done so far?
I dare say about 500.
Come on.
At least. At least.
And you always wanted to be a postmaster or a mistress when you were a little girl?
I can't say I dreamed of that, but I'm very happy.
Why do they still call it postmaster when it should be postmistress?
It's not a gender-specific thing. It's a title.
As far
it's
as
like
I...
being a senator. They don't have a female version of a senator or congressman. It's...
Isn't that amazing?
Postmaster.
I always wondered, and now I learned the official word. Now this is the... How many of these cancellations have you done? You did... I remember you did the Champlain one a while back in 2006.
September 2006. Yep. This is my second one.
And Joe did that one as well.
Yep.
And I did a fine job this time, didn't he?
Yes, he did. He did. Very nice job.
I can't believe you've done 5.
At least this morning. Yep.
Wow. Somebody
Well,
somebody else must have bought 5. Oh, they do,
People
huh?
buy lots of them. Grandchildren and...
Even people who are not stamp collectors per se just want it because it's something pretty official on the Quadra Centennial.
Exactly.
Yeah.
To commemorate today for all posterity. And afterwards, the stamp will end up in the museum.
And you still have ink left in?
I do. I brought an extra bottle, and I've already got a Band-Aid on my hand. I'm doing fine.
There are the perils of Pauline connected with being a postmaster. Thank goodness you don't have to stamp envelopes anymore in the office, right?
Automation. No, I don't do that in the office.
You know, we should explain to our viewers, our younger viewers, that hand canceling was the name of the game for a long, long time.
Absolutely. Yep. It used to be done with actually pens. And then we learned the history of how they developed it into a rubber stamp. And now they do it with automation. They just run them through a machine. Thousands and thousands
of
seconds.
They did. And they had rubber stamps, and they had cork for a while, and they had wooden stamps, and the history of the post office is pretty amazing. And now, even as we're speaking here today on August 8, 2009, the Postal Service is undergoing some changes, some that it didn't want or anticipate. But these are tough times, and because of the advent of the internet and email and who knows what other possible things were affected, people aren't sending as many letters anymore.
No.
You know, I wrote a column about this a while back because people don't take time to handwrite.
It's not personal.
Anything anymore.
Everything's a text message or an email, and it's lost its touch.
Well, forgive me if I'm old-fashioned, but I like to write personal notes to people. Don't
I still
you?
do. I still do.
You know, somebody asked me why I don't buy a Kindle, which is the little thing that looks like a flat page that holds 1,500 books and magazines and things, and they're amazing, and they're $300. But I prefer to do it by hand, just like you've stamped all of those. Brenda, thanks so much for your day.
Thank you very much. Enjoy.
You deserve something cool and a nice nap after you leave here tonight.
Yeah,
Brenda,
thank you.
Thanks again. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Well, where would we be without an Uga horn? They weren't invented 400 years ago, but they were 100 years ago, and we love to see them. We had antique cars and tiny ponies and people doing face painting and arts and crafts and genealogy and book signings, and it's just been a very special day in Champlain. I want to thank all the organizers, the people on the committee, and those people in the background who encouraged them to do this. It's not that it took 400 years to plan for it, but it took a long, long time, and it turned out extremely well. The weather especially was perfect. The music was ideal. I enjoyed every single minute of it. Thanks to all the folks whom we interviewed and and all the folks who just came to have a good time in Champlain for the family days today, celebrating 400 years in the Quadra Centennial. I don't know where we're going to do another program, when it's going to be, but I hope your suggestions will help us help out whenever you can with your money orders and your checks, and whatever way you can help Calvin to put this program on in the future. Make sure you tell your friends that they can watch it on the internet at Plattsburgh.com and at HometownCableNetwork.com. And who knows where we're going to be next time for our little corner.
We're going to wrap up. I'll go to say goodbye with one final shot here of Dr. John Southwick giving some rides. And invite everyone to tune in. We've got it coming up right now, if I don't forget to do it. The song, as we promised earlier, in Old Champlain by the Mills Brothers. So that's coming up right now, so stick tuned for that.
Every day at eventide, when the sun begins to hide, memories bring me to your side. We can dream at eventide, down a rustic little lane, walking, talking in old Champlain, where you gave your heart to me, where you gave your heart so free, and the bells of St. Marie kept a-ringing, sent their blessing through the lane, down Lover's Lane, in old Champlain. Let's return once again. I recall the rose you gave me, the rose that you wore near your heart, the kind little padre we knew so well. Does he know that we're still apart? We should never be apart. If a prayer came through tonight, if a prayer came through tonight, I'd be there with you tonight, I'd be there with you tonight, down a rustic little lane, when we walk down Lover's Lane, in old Champlain. I recall the rose you gave me, the rose that you wore near your heart, the kind little padre we knew so well. If a prayer came through tonight, I'd be there with you tonight, down a rustic little lane.